Hello and a very warm welcome to episode 72 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. A podcast that now covers local football in this great town of ours, as well as keeping up with all the frills and spills, highs and lows of my team, Hastings United. On today's show, we've got week 3 of the Hastings Report with co-host LEON PETTIT, ESFL Veteran. We have an interview with U's boss, Super, Gary ELPHICK. We're joined again by Timothy Booth-Jones and Tim's takes on a fantastic win for our women's side. And of course, we've got the SBTS Fan Roundtable. Enjoy, grassroots football fans.
She broke down, let me in. See where I've been. Been down one time, been down 2 times, never going back again. To win. Come down, see me again. Been down one time, been down 2 times. Again.
And now over to week 3 of the Hastings Report. Right, hello. It gives me great pleasure to have LEON PETTIT back on for week 3 of the Hastings Report. LEON, a ESFL veteran and regular on the podcast anyway, as part of being a Hastings fan as well. LEON, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been all good. Yeah, no dramas.
No dramas.
All dandy.
Good. Yeah, right. So we're going to crack straight into the SCFL. So we're going to look at, first of all, Little Common. Little Common travelled to AFC Vardinians. Right, there was 80 managed to turn up there. The Common were 2-0 up, but couldn't hold on, and it ended up on as even 2-2. Right, goal scorers for Little Common was James Miriam, Batchelor, and then Freddie Warren. Your thoughts on the game?
Bit of a disappointing result for Common, especially to go 2 up. Vardinians, they really struggled last season. You don't know how they're looking for this season, even though they've got off to a bit of a slow start as well. But I see the 2 goal scorers with only 2 players to pick up bookings as well. So I wonder if they celebrated too hard.
Could be. You never know. You never know in the SCFL. Right. And then let's move over to Bexhill. Now, Bexhill, when we recorded last week, we recorded on a Monday. They were playing on the Tuesday. So Bexhill travelled to Saltdean United. Attendance, according to the FA website, was 78. So they smashed them 6-0 with 5 goals in the second half. And here's one of those cracking goals, the 5th. This is courtesy of Chris Duckett. On Twitter, he is Van Rock Chris, who's a massive Bexhill fan. Big shout out to him, who managed to catch this beauty. So what do we think of that goal, Leon?
Well, I know Tom Vickers has it in his locker. We sort of saw him pull the trigger a couple of times when he was at Hastings. And again, it's Jack Shonk got 2 again. It's just more the same names. Joe Somerville, that or quality at that level of football, no doubt. Keep scoring, cracking goals.
Yeah, was it Hayden, Beaconsfield, and Jack Longford got the others? Yeah, you mentioned Joe Somerville and that man Shonk, he just keeps scoring, doesn't
he? Yeah.
Bexhill United are sort of at home. They're playing Eastbourne United at Eastbourne Boroughs ground. Bank holiday clash, 11 o'clock kickoff. So a little bit early, but it's got to be Bexhill's, isn't it, Leon?
I wouldn't be too sure. Eastbourne United are looking very good this season. They finished strongly last season, and they seem to sign half of Eastbourne Town's squad from last season. I mean, they've got off to a good start. They're currently third, 1-3. The only game they've lost is to Crowborough, who, according to 1 or 2 of the lads on the round table we had, might be one of the dark horses this season. So I think Bexhill will be in for their toughest challenge so far.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so Little Commons next game's on the 27th of August. That's going to be at Stenning Town, an away fixture. Let's hope they can get a win there. What do you think, Leon?
Yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? I mean, Stenning have got off to a bit of a slow start as well. So it would be good if Common can pick up some points. It'd be tough because it's away from home, but fingers crossed for them.
Absolutely. Right then. Right, and then we move on. It's a busy old weekend for Little Common. They're playing on the Monday. They're playing Eastbourne Town, funnily enough, at their Saffrons. What do you think? Is that a bit too much? Do you think they managed to draw there, or?
I'd be happy with a draw if I was a Little Common fan. Eastbourne Town have been one of the strongest sides for years in this league. So yeah, I think to go to, and they've got Eastbourne Town have got very good support over there. So to go over there and play in front of that, I'd take a point.
Moving on to the Mid-Sussex Prem. Hollington, they've kept the goals flying in again, winning 4-2 with goals from Danny Ellis, Zachary McHenry, Lewis McGuigan, and Bradley Pritchard. They're really storming it at the moment, aren't they, Leon?
Yeah, but it didn't sound like completely plain sailing for them. I know they went 3-0 up, but Linfield got it back to 3-2, which there must have been a few nerves kicking in around there. It went until Danny Ellis got the 4th, sort of made it a bit more comfortable for Hollington. Off to a flyer, 2-2.
No, they're certainly looking good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, Hollington's next fixture is against Rotherfield at the Gibbons. 2 o'clock kickoff on the 27th, which is a Saturday. It's got to be 3 points, Hollington, isn't it?
You'd expect it to be a routine win for Hollington. Rotherfield haven't played a league game yet, so they'll probably be they'll be fresh, but a bit rusty, whereas Hollington have already had their 2 games, more match fit. So I think it'll be a routine win for Hollington.
Right, so as I couldn't make the Hastings game, which seemed like a lucky one to miss. Yeah, so went along to see the Sedlescombe game, which was a topsy-turvy affair. It could have gone either way. Sedlescombe had some real great passages of play, and good touches, but they just couldn't hold the lead. And it was inevitable that Ashurst would get back into the game, if not win it. So 4-4 was a fair result. I mean, some cracking goals in there. The scorers were Zach Boltwood. He bagged 2 goals, with the others coming from Ryan Edwards and Lucas Zon. There's goals in that team. Sedlescombe, they just need to shore it up a little bit in defence. Any thoughts on that, Leon?
No, not from on. I knew you was watching it, so I was going to leave it all to you to leave the review there.
Well, Westfield, according to them, they kept their first clean sheet in 24 games. I didn't know that. Didn't know that was a statistic. Corey Wheeler bagged the goal in the 57th minute, and here it is. Yeah, so that looked like that was deflected, Leon, but I reckon it was destined for the back of the net.
Yeah, never in doubt.
Never in doubt.
But to go away to Holland Sports and get a clean sheet, Holland's have got some good some very good attacking players in their ranks. So yeah, I think Westfield must be really pleased to not only come away with the clean sheet, but away with all 3 points to sustain their decent start to the season.
So we look at Battle Town's next game. Obviously, they met Hollington last game, which was a tough fixture, and well, it looks like it was a tough one again. They're playing Ringmer at home at Prince's Park, the Oval, and they lost 4-2. Glenn Carrick managed to bag a pair of goals.
Well, it sounds like they fared better than what they did against Hollington. So they were 2-0 up at half time. But I can only imagine like Ringmer's experience, more experience at this level, maybe a bit of fitness come into play there. But yeah, obviously Ringmer scored all their 4 goals to bag the all 3 points in the end, unfortunately for Battle.
That's a shame. Well, let's see. So Battle then have got another home fixture on this Saturday coming, the 27th, against Reigate Priory. I mean, what do we think? Do we think they might manage a result there?
I mean, if they can, play similar to what they did against Ringmer in the first half, I can't see why not, because Reigate are also another newly promoted team. They come up from the Mid-Sussex equivalent of what Battle were in last season in the East Sussex League. It would no doubt be a tough game because generally I think the Mid-Sussex is a bit stronger than the East Sussex, but I mean, Battle, they still went 2 up against a very good Ringmer side, so I'm sure they'll be confident of getting something out of the game at least.
Right, ESFL isn't kicking off till the 3rd of September. So we've got no ESFL results. But talking of ESFL, I've been in contact with the local MACRON Hastings sportswear company. This year the MACRON Challenge Cup has started. It starts this season. It was first just talking to them. I mean, we did try and do an interview, but they're very busy putting out about 1 million different kits, all very excellent, very, very impressive, in my opinion. Yeah, they first proposed this last season. What? Because I wanted to check out with them that, is this a serious thing? It is. They're doing this for at least 3 years with options to carry on after that. The winner will get a kit up to the value of £900, which at this level is brilliant. It's a brilliant prize, essential, you must say, which is going to be a kit of their design and choosing. The team that wins. The final, because I asked about where the final will be played, and they're hoping for it to be played at the new Westfield ground. So when that's finished, that's where the final will be played. And they will have a very special trophy. They've said that it will be almost like the FA Cup in how good it looks, which all sounds excellent. And it's brilliant for the ESFL. Anything that's, get a little bit of interest, a few more fans through the door, good old cup competition where there's actually a decent prize there. It's only good, isn't it, Leon?
Yeah, definitely. It gives teams that more impetus, doesn't it? To no doubt they'll be taking that cup bit more seriously if it means potential to win a free kit for the team, which any grassroots football club it's a massive thing to have. Really, I was a bit when it first came out, I did sort of wonder why not just sponsor an existing cup, because I thought, well, maybe it's taking teams out of those cups, but I mean the other cups are all sort of limited in. One would be like the intermediate cup, the junior cup, or for teams in certain divisions, whereas this competition is open to anyone, which so it means it's open to anyone in the East Sussex League, I should say, anyone in there for them to enter, and gives anyone the opportunity to win that free kit. So it sounds good. Yeah, awesome. I really like the sound of it.
Yeah, and obviously we keep you updated on developments and the ins and outs of that as we go on through the weeks. Yeah, finally we look at, it seems to be this will be a weekly thing, I think, but King Kenny Watch, as we know, King Kenny Pogue, who's left Hastings, who's gone to Lyd, and he's helped Lyd win again. They won 3-2 there, an away fixture against Croydon. All hail King Kenny. I'm sure you agree, Leon. All
hail King Kenny. Yeah. What a signing for Lyd.
That's top signing. Well, listen, thank you very much, as ever, Leon. May I ask what game you've got this weekend?
Playing against St Leonard's Social for Icklesham.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and how many are you scoring?
None.
Oh, I love a confident man. No, honestly, how do you think your boys will get on?
It'd be a tough one because then there's social in the Prem and we're Div 2. So, yeah, they'll have a few good players. So
obviously, this is still friendlies, aren't they?
Yeah. So this will be, it's the last weekend before the league starts.
Right then, well, listen, Leon, thanks again. Thanks as ever. We won't be recording on the Monday because this lucky bugger is going to watch Lewis versus Hastings. And obviously, I wish Hastings all the best there. Leon, I think, is probably going to partake in a few jars, are you, sir?
Yeah, I'll be in no fit state to record next week. So, yeah, we're just going to have to...
I have to lump it.
Longer.
Have to lump it.
Yeah.
But possibly Tuesday. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Listen, thank you, chap. And well, that was the week it was. So see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
It's a rush hour, 'cause I like the rush, the pushing of the people. I like it all so much. Such a nice emotion, do not know where it goes. I'm on with the movement and I have the touch. I'm waiting for ignition, I'm looking for a spark. Transformation and I light up in the dark. There you stand before me, all that fur and all that hair. What do I care? I have the touch. Only wanting contact. Only wanting contact. Wanting contact with you. Shake those hands. Shake those hands. Give me the thing I understand. Shake those hands. Shake those hands. Shake hands. Shake hands. Social occasion, it's how do you do? All those introductions, I never was like you. Sorry for a question, sorry for a doubt. My hand was silent, I have a touch. Only wanting contact. Wanting contact. Wanting contact. Shake those hands. Shake those hands. Give me the thing I understand. Shake those hands. Shake those hands. Shake those hands. Pull my cue, stroke my hair. Touch my nose, hug my knees. Try drink, food, cigarette. Touching with my knees. I cut my fingers, hold my arms. Breathe in deep, cross my legs. Shake my shoulders, stretch my back. But nothing seems to breathe. I need contact. I need contact. Nothing seems to breathe. I need contact.
And now the pleasure of talking with U's boss, Gary ELPHICK. Right, it gives me great pleasure to have the returning Gary ELPHICK, the boss, the big man. Actually, Gary, last time we spoke on this podcast, it was April. It was the week after Faversham. It was on the round table. The fans, we were all in absolute euphoria. As usual with yourself, your eyes were very much already, I felt, were already on this season that we're in now. And so you obviously had the signings in mind that you got in, Gary. Yeah. And I mean, first of all, like you got Bailey Atkirston, who looked really good. I mean, it was just such a shame that he got injured in that first game. I mean, what's the situation with him? Is he now gone? Is there an option for him to come back, or what's the issue? The side.
So he was on an original a 28-day loan.
Yeah.
And all that was going to be was basically to test the waters to see if we liked him, he liked us. We had fantastic sort of references towards him from sort of Craig Stone, who coached him in the Gills youth, and also I have quite a relationship with Neil Harris, their manager. He spoke to me on the phone about him and spoke very fondly. So unfortunately, he's torn his MCL, which looks like the very least a month. So obviously that takes us up to our end of our month loan deal with him. And then I suppose, Chris, it'll be about strengthening in the actual injury itself and then getting back playing. So I suppose it's one of those where we may have to cross that bridge when it comes regards his physical state, the current situation of how we'll be doing at that certain time. So yeah, that'll be one to keep an eye on. But obviously, bitterly disappointed because we haven't got many left footers in the team. And you know, one thing I would say, Kane Penn has been fantastic. He would have been. I had to have a long chat with him before the first game of the season because he was outstanding at Ramsgate away in our last pre-season game, and I felt quite. I felt like I was doing wrong by him as well by dropping him from the starting lineup. But we had this sorted out with Gillingham about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we knew he was going to come. So I had to sort of, upheld my end of the bargain by bringing him in, and also, he is a left footer, and at times we do need to have that left footer for just that penetration, just going down that side. But in Kane Penn, he's been fantastic since he's come in, and if it did or didn't happen, then what player we got in Kane Penn as well. So it's one of them. Just you can never be say things are 100% certain at a certain time, and we'll just see as the weeks progress what we need and what we don't need. As
one door closes, another opens. He did look excellent, and maybe it was very lucky that we only got him in on a 28-day loan then, because unfortunately, brutal honesty, we don't need someone on the books who's injured. So there you go. But again, Kane's come in. It's been really good. I mean, I didn't catch last Saturday's game as I was working, but like the Folkestone game, I thought he was superb, just coming in. But we'll get to that. Hang on, right? So talking about other players, so we've got obviously Kai Brown's come in, and he's good. He's looked good in spells, and he's already bagged a goal. I mean, what do you expect from the lad? What type of player is he?
He's someone for me that floats in between lines, takes up sort of half spaces really well, comes in off the line, and can connect a team. And I just think we haven't yet seen the best of him. I think he's still getting used to the way we try to play, the physicality of this league. So I think he's a work in progress for sure. And he's just someone that's we're going to have to work with week in, week out, sort of get it into their muscle memory of how we play. And hopefully we'll reap the rewards later on in the season. And also what you would say on paper, other than the Aveley game, which that's the only game really where I've been bitterly disappointed with our performance. The other 2 games have been against probably the top 2 teams within the league. And we've had to go horses for courses, whereby we've had to try and make sure we don't get breached easily and make sure we're up for the physical battle as well. So, I've said this to the squad during games, like my team always changes. I always try to seek what the opponent's weaknesses and strengths are and try and combat it. And maybe sometimes I get it wrong, and I can accept that. I'm a young manager. I'm going to learn through mistakes. But I'll always put the team first. And I said that after the Hornchurch game. It's a squad game. And I mean that. Like, you look at Man United last night against Liverpool, the changes they're making. So hopefully I'm on something that's right. I know for certain we haven't clicked yet in certain situations, but I think the last two performances, well, we get onto that later, but it's been slightly gutting for me. Yeah.
So we're talking about players that come in. So we've got Gil Gavario's come in, and I only saw him in the Aveley game. Is he been carrying a knock, or is he just a little bit short of confidence?
No, I don't know whether it's a confidence thing. I think he was slightly nervous in the first game with the crowd. I think everyone was a little bit. I think he had a big part to play in it. I think everyone was a little bit jittery for whatever reason, which we can't do. We need to play with open hearts and open minds and be confident and brave. And it's easy for me to say it, but you've got to try and do it. And he's another one. I always sort of look at Bournemouth when they first went up with my brother's team. I think they made a few signings. Adam Smith plays I didn't feature for the first season. They were just sort of grasping what we're trying to do. I know that we might not have that sort of time, but he's another one that's similar to Kai. He's got a directness about him, pace, quality, but obviously we've got to do best for him and he's got to do best for us as well. So just buying into what we're trying to do and to get the best out of each other, really.
Yeah, he looked bloody excellent for Hayward Heath. Just get a bit of that. Oh, it could be fabulous down the wing. So now we see it's all sort of work in progress, Chris, and we see we just take it step by step. Yeah, just moving on to Alex Breffo. I'm a fan of his already. As I say, I'm no expert, but like Alex has come in. I just think I love his mentality. I think he's an excellent signing. How long had you been monitoring him in terms of bringing him into the club?
I remember watching Alex play for Cray Valley at our place against Ben Pope, and I remember watching the game back. I was still playing then, so I was sort of analysing my own performance, but I thought, wow, this is a guy that be the first defender I saw compete with Ben on a physical basis. And I just thought, I could see him bringing the ball out from defence end, slapping balls into midfield, and I just thought I'd love to get hold of him one day to just teach him like footwork, defensive stuff, basically, that's my passion. He's only just turned 21, and I just reckon it could be a massive investment for the club.
I know he looks like a 30-year. He plays like a 30-year-old defender. Do you know what I mean? Like very experienced defender.
Yeah, there's little things which there's still improvement there. There's still a little 1%, especially within our own box. There's certain situations which, if he gets that right, Chris, his heading, things like that. But that's the stuff I love coaching, and I just think I wouldn't be surprised if clubs come knocking sort of within the season with him, because he's got all the attributes of a modern player that you need to play central defence. So watch his space. But another one, work in progress. We take it step by step and keep our feet on the ground. But yeah, he's a huge talent.
Yeah, and obviously it's just been announced yesterday that Jake Elliott's coming back. You've obviously twisted his arm. How have you managed to persuade him to come back to the pilot field? Not that it needs too much persuasion, but he was playing obviously up the Leeds.
Yeah, I've got a fantastic relationship with Jake. When I played with him, I feel like I helped him on the pitch. So I remember Jake first 3 or 4 games, and people were like, "God, I'm not sure if he's up to the level of that." And thankfully, one thing I've got, I think, is I'll never get on anyone's back. I try to give players confidence. That's how I always lead it on the pitch. Always sort of calm and sort of saying things nicely. When I had to get heated, it got heated. But I think that's leadership. So I think because of that, I tried to help him throughout his career, sort of last few years. And I think we've just got that general respect for one another. And we've all seen Jake. We know what he can do. But the exciting thing for me is that you can get Tom Chalmers further up the pitch now, which is another part of the plan, really, which I hope works, because if you look at Tom Chalmers' highlights, he's become a fantastic right back. There's no denying that. He's heading like on diagonal situations and driving out with the ball. But I think now where he's played behind attacking players like Nori, he's seen the movement that is needed, and he looks like, for me, he's gone to another level this year. Regards,
100%.
He can drop a shoulder. He's someone that can connect the game with Ben Pope or those sort of types, and get us further up the pitch and fulfil our attacks. Because at the moment, it's obvious a little bit where we're just not quite making the best of our current situations when getting in the opposition's half. So it's one that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah,
develop.
bloody hell, mate.
Yeah, never know.
Terrorised, mate. I tell you, when you're pushing him up. I mean, he has been TC, obviously. Well, particularly Folkestone game. I just love it. He just wants the ball, you know, and he's just like, yeah, come on, mate. And you could see it. He's like, yeah, come on, I'm getting past you, and it's just a joy to watch as a fan, anyway.
Yeah, no, but they're having they're having to double up on him at times, and obviously, if you've got two players marking one, it creates space for other players as well. So I'm sure that it will only benefit us bringing Jake Elliott back for a number of reasons.
Will he be available for Saturday?
Yes, he will. Yeah,
okay. Nice.
So that's all good. Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
I think we've spoke about this before in interviews and on roundtables. I mean, you've always been a very grounded individual, and then, you know, we have spoke about that. This step up, the major difference is that more than likely you're going to get punished more for that little mistake, that little switch off. We won't get away with it as much.
No.
Equally, we've not had the best of luck in terms of. I mean, we could first be part of the Averley game. Yeah, you know, being brutally honest, I mean, it was horrible conditions to play football in for 98 minutes or whatever it was, and unfortunately we switched off a little bit for their winning goal. Since those games, you know, the Folkestone game in particular, you know, the Folkestone fans were coming up to me and they were saying just how super drilled we were, how the passing patterns that we're really playing very well as a unit. That mentality, is it as it was last year in terms of you've got this group, the group is going to police itself?
Yeah. Yes, I think it is, Chris, because to be honest with you, I think if the dressing room was slightly weak, we could have gone under by 6 or 7 against Hornchurch. They had every excuse to take regards, an early send-off, penalty, a 30-yard thunderbolt after 11 minutes. You're 2-0 down. To be honest with you, you're standing there as a manager thinking, it's a body blow. You're unsure really where to go. It's crazy. And what that team showed me in the second half, especially, was nothing short of. It was brilliant. It made me feel proud as a manager being on the touchline. To do that at Hornchurch, FA Trophy winners a couple of years back. That's nothing short of, you know, that's top 6 stuff for me. And that gives me a lot of confidence going forward. If we get the right personnel in the right areas, and also, which you mentioned, rubber the green at times, which I'll always look at us first. Why did we get into that situation? How could we defend it better, higher up the pitch? So obviously there's things we need to improve, but I do feel now with the next block of 5 games, let's let the dust settle. Let's see where we're at after them 5, and then we'll be able to gauge where to go. I think with everything now, everything's so magnified with social media.
Social media, Gary. Jesus Christ. I mean?
And that's and I'll be honest with you, it's great. It has to be done. It's a modern platform for clubs to advertise themselves, but that's why I'm not on it, because I have to stick to what I believe in, what my staff believe in, and what my players believe in, and.
It ain't grounded on social media. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. No, and honestly, I wouldn't have a clue. I've got to be my own man, and I just love it now that obviously you'll get paid bottom of the league, 3 games gone. I love it.
3 games gone. 3 games gone.
Yeah, and
remember back in the day with the football, you didn't even look at the table until 12, 13, 14 games. Remember, no one ever had looked. And because there's a million channels now, they're looking at the table after 1 or 2 games. It's like, come off it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And we know it's only, I've got 100% confidence in that, because of the way we train, the way we coach, that we're only going to get better. And, it might take us 5, 6 games just to see where we're at and to become grounded and know exactly what sort of way we've got to go with certain situations and that. But as I say, the team could have easily gone down at Hornchurch, and we stood up and we was counted, and that for me makes me a very proud manager of my group of players I've got at the moment.
Well, as a sidebar, like I obviously I didn't get to the game. But when I saw what happened, Smithy tweeting them out, tweeting that we were 2-0 down. There's other clubs that you could say, right, 6-7-0, but I never expected us to be bagging, losing by 6 or 7. I mean, just the way that the team's drilled. And then when I saw the highlights of that second half, very impressive. Very impressive. You know, you did not give up. Did not give up.
No.
And they got the late goal, but that was after tons of great play. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. But at least you've got that thing where these players did not give up, and we go on to the next game.
No, exactly that. No, 100%.
Yeah, so talking in the next game, playing Brighton in the Sea region, and nearly got it. And I mean, as a team, I mean, what in terms of us fans, let's not talk about. We're going to try and get a result from it, but in terms of them, what's their threats?
No, I think a lot of teams within this division are very similar. I think there's a directness about them, a physicality, and they're two things that in every game this season that we're going to have to face and overcome. So obviously that old saying of earning the right to play, that's going to be apparent in this next game. But I will say we'll win it. We must win it. That's the attitude I've got to have. We need to kickstart the season now. We need to get going. The great news of Jake Elliott signing that, and the easiest way to get a rapture of applause around the football ground is to run hard and work hard. And I keep alluding to it with Man United last night. If the effort's there, if everyone buys into it, then football become like a magical thing. And that's my message to the players: work hard, run hard, listen to what me and John are trying to tell you, what Brownie's trying to tell you during training sessions, and let's go and do it, and let's get 3 points on the board and get our season kick-started.
No, brilliant, Gary. And just so you know, I mean, I've been getting loads of messages from fans. All of them are saying that we're behind you. We're just a little bit of the rub of the green. Yeah, we'd be getting results, but the effort's there, the work rate, you could see the stuff that you're trying to do. You know, as I say, we're all behind you. We'll be cheering you on Saturday.
Brilliant. No, I appreciate it, Chris. Top man.
All right, Gary, thank you very much, and I will see you at the game.
Different class. Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, Gary. Thank you, mate.
Top man.
Yo, man, it's a lot of brothers out there flaking and perpetrating, but scared to kick reality.
Yo, Dre, you been doing all this dope producing. You had a chance to show them what time it is.
So what you want me to do? And now I'm living in correctional facilities, cause some don't agree with how I do this. I get straight and meditate like a Buddhist. I'm dropping flavor, my behavior is hereditary, but my technique is very necessary. Blame it on Ice Cube, because he said it get funky when you got a subject and a predicate. Add it on a dope beat and it'll make you think. Some suckers just tickle me pink to my stomach, cause they don't flow like this one. You know what? I won't hesitate to diss one or two before I'm through, so don't try to sing this. Some drop science, well I'm dropping English, even if Yella makes it a cappella. I still express yo, I don't smoke weed or sex, cause it's known to give a brother brain damage, and brain damage on the mic don't manage nothing but making a sucker in you equal. Don't be another sequel. Spread yourself. Spread yourself. Ice Cube. It's not for the pop chart. So where should a brother like you start expressing yourself, my boy, and show you how? Yo, Trey, what up? Drop English right about now. Getting back to the PG, that's programmed, and it's easy. Dre is back, new jacks are made hollow. Expressing ain't the subject because they like to follow the words, the style, the trend. The records I spin again and again and again. Yo, you're on the other end. Watch a brother blend, dope rhymes with no help. There's no guessing or guessing while I'm expressing myself. It's crazy to see people be what society wants them to be, but not me. Ruthless is the way to go, they know. Others say rhymes which fail to be original, or they kill where the hip-hop starts. Forget about the ghetto and rap for the pop charts. Though some musicians, cause at home they're scared to use profanity when up on the microphone. Yeah, they want reality, but you hear none. They'd rather exaggerate a little fiction. Some say no to drugs and take a stand, but after the show they go looking for the dope man. Or they ban my group from the radio here in WA and say hell no. But you know it ain't all about wealth, as long as you make a note to spread yourself. Spread yourself. my record, that's what he came for. Kicking reality over staying itself, but it's important that you keep it in mind too. From the heart, cause if you wanna start to move up the chart, then expression is a big part of it. You ain't efficient when you flow, you ain't swift moving like a tortoise, full of rigor mortis. There's a little bit more to show. I got rhymes in my mind, embedded like an embryo or a lesson, all of them expression. And if you start fessing, I got a Smith & Wesson for you. I might ignore your record because it has no bottom. I get loose in the summer, winter, spring, and autumn. It's Dre on the mic, getting physical, doing the job. And WA is the lynch mob. It's a macabre, but you know you need this. And the knowledge is going just like a fetus or a tumor. Well, here's the rumor: Dre's in the neighborhood and he's up to no good. When I start expressing myself, yell and slam me. Cause if I stay funky like this, I'm doing damage. Or I'ma be too hype and need a straight jacket. I got knowledge and other suckers lack it. So when you see Dre, a DJ on the mic, ask what it's like we're getting hyped tonight. Cause if I strike, it ain't for your good health, but I won't strike if you just spread yourself.
And now over to Tim Stakes.
Just returned from the pilot field after the ladies' first league game of the season in the London and South East Counties Women's League. We were at home to Eastbourne United Association, who got promoted up into the league last season. They've made a number of new signings apparently, and were obviously quite keen to make a good impression. But didn't do them much good against Hastings, because Hastings played really well during the game and recorded a 6-0 win. Decent sized crowd up at the pilot field, any of whom have been at the Aveley men's game and the Hornchurch men's game. Any of those supporters, the first job obviously to check the linesmen to see whether they bear any resemblance to the two linesmen we had in those last two games, who interfered in the games to Hastings' detriment. Still reeling from that first couple of minutes decision against Hastings at Hornchurch, which resulted in Finn being sent off and a penalty. But never mind, back to the ladies, and they started with solid looking lineup: Blair in goal and a back four of Becky Sharp and Holly as the fullbacks, and the reliable Sophie Reed and Rosie in the middle. A very talented midfield group of Claire Johnson, Charlotte Kerr and Kelly Larkin, who are three really good players. And up front, we had Brooke Rogan rampaging down the right, Sian Heather in the middle, and Rebecca Ralph, who was given a bit more freedom this season. She looked very good going down the left. And Hastings soon got into their stride, played some lovely passing, and Claire Johnson opened the scoring quite quickly. Our little fullback Holly Carter scored a goal, a second one, when the Eastbourne keeper probably made her only mistake of the game, when she let one of Holly's sort of cross-come shot loose and it ended up in the net. Kelly Larkin got a classy third goal. Our very good midfield player, along with Kelly, Charlotte Kerr, got the first of her hat-trick in the first half. So it was 4-0 at half-time and quite comfortable. Eastbourne never really threatened. Yeah, we made quite a few substitutions during the game. Sian Heather left at half-time, but all our subs came on. Victoria Phillips did, and her two sisters, Amy and Megan Critchfield, came on, and Dominique Beckett also had a run out. But we got a further 2 goals, both for Charlotte in the second half. So it was 6-0 to Hastings, our first league game of the season. Yeah, the league is going to be competitive, I think, despite this result. Eastbourne weren't too bad. Yeah, Hastings played well. Just looking at the results so far, I know Welling have had a good win today against Bexhill. So it will be a competitive league, and hopefully Hastings will be right at the top.
And over to the SBTS Fan Roundtable. And it's a one-on-one affair. Me and that man who bangs the drum, George Gasson. It gives me great pleasure to have the second coming of Keith Chegwin. It gives me great pleasure to have George Gasson on today. We've had a few no-shows for this roundtable, a late injury to Kev Town. I mean, he couldn't come on today. It's an absolute pleasure to have George on. It's the first time I've spoken to George on his own, funnily enough, since episode 1 of this podcast. So this will be episode 72 coming out this Friday. So again, always an honour and a privilege to talk to he who bangs the drum, George Gasson.
Thanks, Chris. It's a bit of a throwback, isn't it?
It is a little bit of a throwback.
All the way back to that first podcast. Great to talk to you, Chris. It's been an interesting week being a Hastings United fan this week. One of those ones where you lose a game but come away with a lot of positives. Going to Hornchurch on Saturday reminded me a lot of the Ramsgate game last season where we lost. I don't know if you remember, we lost 3-2 over there.
I do remember that.
Yeah, in the pissing rain, and we battered them in the second half, and it felt like shades of that really, despite having 10 men on Saturday. And I know we saw a big difference in an opinion from those who went to the game and those who just saw the score online. And everyone who I spoke to who's been to the game has been really positive about the performance, and rightly so.
Yeah, so just for those that don't know or haven't seen the result, I'm sure most people have seen the result. We did lose 3-0, yes, and a very early sending off. I wouldn't mind just talking about that sending off because I saw that on video, and maybe I'm just an old crusty, but I think the handball rule does need to be looked at. Maybe I'm completely biased, but I always thought it was intentional putting the hand out to stop a ball, and now it appears to be the shoulder just there. Now, I mean, what's your thoughts? Have you seen the highlights of that?
Yeah,
incident?
I've seen it back, and within the rules as they are, it's handball.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the referee's got it right. Because that's his job, and it's not his job to make the rules; it's to enforce them, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah,
it's a shame. It kind of killed the game for us, but then it didn't. Obviously, because we had such a good second half, which we'll talk about. But yeah, it's a massive shame, and that it doesn't have to be deliberate now. He's hit his arm; it's on the line. It's going in. Like it's a goal if that doesn't happen. For me, one rule change I'd have in football is if it's in that situation, and it's definitely going in, and we all know it's going in, is to do a similar thing like in rugby, and they give a penalty goal, they give a penalty try, because then the right things happened. The bloke gets his goal anyway. He's not the ball towards goal. It's his goal. It's 1-0 like it should be, but 11 versus 11.
Yeah.
I think that might be maybe a way around that, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. So it's just really sort of unfortunate all round, really. Obviously, we might say something different if Louis saved a penalty, but really, I'd rather see that. And we saw like it was not the same, but like Luis Suarez in the World Cup was actually a proper deliberate handball, wasn't it, against Ghana? I think it was. Like if that's just a goal, I think that's a fairer result than a red card and a penalty, which is still a risk for the attacking side. So
yeah,
but hey ho, you can't really say anything about the referee there at all.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not criticising the ref. It's just, to me,
it's a shame, isn't it? It's just a shame.
I mean, what was he going to do? Throw his body out the way? I don't know, but maybe I'm biased. So we'll move on from that. To be fair to Hornchurch, they did score an absolutely cracking second goal.
Worldy free kick. So where in Hornchurch you can't really get right behind the goal. It's an athletics track. So we were slightly on the side at the other end, but we had a really good view of that goal. Absolute cracker. He's hit it so hard. You could have two keepers in there. I think we struggle to stop that. So yeah, that's some of the quality that we're going to face in this division, I suppose. So got players who can hit the ball that hard, finish with that accuracy, and it's going to be hard because free kicks going to be given away on the edge of the box like that. So yeah, 2-0 down, 11 minutes, down to 10 men, and from then, without the fight of the team, it could have been a really, really long afternoon for us.
I couldn't make the game, but when I saw that score on Twitter, I saw we were 2-0 down. One thing I did not expect us to be losing 6 or 7-0. I did not, because I know this team, the heart of the team, the passion of the team, I just didn't I didn't expect it. Yeah. And clearly, as I've seen the highlights, you were at the game, George. we really come into that game and we really did press to try and get back in there.
Yeah, and they Hornets, still managed to get a couple of chances in the first half, but so did we. Even in the first half, I know our second half was very good, but we still managed to build ourselves into the game. We're down to 10 men. Defender's been sent off, and who comes on as a sub? James Hull. Bold move, and maybe that took the Hornets by surprise a little bit. It took us by surprise, but it was wonderful for us to bring on a striker after that's happened and reshuffle in that way, and it seemed to really, really work. So that tactical in-game side, that it's fascinating to watch. And actually, in the second half, weren't behind the goal again. We were sort of near our dugout on the side, so it was really interesting to see what was going on from the bench. Obviously, we don't understand all the ins and outs of it. What do we know? We're just watching a game of football. Yeah. But just to see how positive we were, and actually how annoyed the players were when we didn't put some of those chances away. Like really, you could see the frustration in them, that they really thought that they should and could be getting something out of the game even during the game.
That James Hull chance as well. I think he hit the crossbar. So lovely.
Yeah,
I'm really unlucky. It was a bit lovely goal that.
Yeah, it's not really a missed chance either. He sort of manufactured a good header from quite a way out. We'd have done really well to score from there. And then there's just a few more where balls have, and I think later in the season we score these when the team's more clicking more, where balls have come across the box that just needed a touch. Some wonderful play by Sam Hasler across that second half as well, just creating chances. Yeah, and just loads of things happening. So many positives from so many of the players. Tom Chalmers looking fantastic again.
How did Kane Penn look?
Kane Penn, really good. And actually, coming away from the game, because I thought he might be under a lot of pressure, down to 10 men, and being a younger player, in the side, newer player in the side. Don't really remember much coming down our left at all for them at all. So that's a credit for him. One of those ones where if you're not noticed as much in that aspect, then you're probably doing a good job. Don't really see many problems coming down that side, and he looked to get involved with it up the pitch as well. Loads of energy, so that was really great from him. Alex Breffo looking rock solid in the middle as well. Yeah, Ben battling again. Just runs himself into the ground. So yeah, loads of positives. And the fact that not only, we worked hard, but we lost. It wasn't even about that. It's the fact that we were good enough.
Good patterns of play.
Patterns of play. We started to win battles in the middle of the park as well, even though we were outnumbered. And we were all over them for a good 20, 25 minutes. It was just all us, all over them. They had one chance in the second half and they scored. But we were genuinely all over them. That was due to quality.
Yeah. And an outlook as well. They were obviously bringing on a forward, actually trying to go for it. From what I saw, those highlights, just really great. Left, right, across the pitch.
Yeah.
Build up, not long ball, real good stuff. So and then obviously they killed us off at the last minute. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. It wasn't our day, but we were trying to play in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely.
George, talking about we played Eastbourne Borough yesterday when we were recording this, and I noticed a certain Lloyd Dawes managed to get 45 minutes without getting injured. Could it be that this man is going to make our team again this season?
We always say this is a new signing if it happens, isn't it? And everyone, he comes across like he really wants to provide something for the team. Comes across as though he really cares. Popular with the fans, I think, because of that. And just he's deadly, isn't he? Absolutely deadly as a player. So I think every one of us wants him to do well and get fit, and he clearly enjoys his football. So really exciting if he's back.
And also a young Oscar Barry, the son of Gareth Barry. If he's half as good as his dad,
well, if you believe Robbie's song, which is
remind me of it.
He drives opponents mad. He's better than his dad. So if Robbie's right, then we've got a Premier League football on our hands, haven't we? So
excellent.
And Robbie's never wrong, is he? So
No, only linesmen are wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
So exciting times. Now looking forward to Brightling Sea Region, George.
Excellent edit there, Chris.
Thank you. Oh, you get. But I think this is a game we're winning. I've spoken to Gary earlier this week, and he reckons that's a game we're winning. So anyone that's listening to this, first of all, get yourself down the Pilot Field and get shouting for the boys this Saturday. That's what we all want. Moving on. Sorry, George, please. What's your thoughts on this game coming up?
Well, look, the starting fixtures are tough. I mean, it's probably the worst time. It's probably the worst time in the whole season to play Aveley. So always talk about newly promoted sides doing, being on that run. And obviously they won the league just like us. And we could have won that game. Hornchurch and Folkestone, tit for the playoffs or promotion themselves, like right up there, know what it's about in this division. Lewis as well coming up. It's a really, really tough start. I think, Brightling Sea, obviously a good enough team to be in this division. They'll be good, but yeah, it's a winnable game, isn't it? It's a winnable game for both sides. And looking forward to just competing, using our home advantage. Like you say, everyone's got to get down the Pilot Field on Saturday. It's a massive game. And
talking of home field advantage and now defensive advantage, because the lovely Jake Elliott's returned to the club. I fully expect him to be going straight into that starting lineup, and maybe we see TC moving up the pitch. And oh my God, that's that'd be a joy to watch.
That right hand side is, we've signed it. Well, he's played centre back and right back, didn't he, Jake? I don't know where he played. Where he's going to sort of fit into this side, but certainly makes us more flexible. And obviously, one of our best players is currently playing at right back. So it'd be really interesting to see where he ends up, whether it's more in the middle or further up. Or fascinating. He's been playing quite high up anyway, marauding through sort of defences. So yeah, really, really, really positive. That everyone's delighted that he's back. Every time I spoke to him when he was at the club, seemed like a top bloke. Really genuine guy. So we know he fits in with the dressing room, which is something we always talk about with new signings. So that's really, really exciting.
Yeah, no, I've had him on this podcast obviously a few times, and lovely guy, real lovely bloke. And obviously, moving on from that game, we've got to talk about Lewis. Big bank holiday Monday fixture that I know, George, you've been trying to arrange. Basically a beer train, I think, to Lewis. So that should be marvellous scenes for all those that are going.
Well, it's a 10:39 train out of Hastings. I think it stops at Orr as well. But yeah, 10:39 train out of Hastings, direct to Lewis. There'll be a load of us on it, and we'll be, I'm sure, checking out some of the local facilities in Lewis before the game. So yeah, come and join us. Let's make a big bank holiday day out of it. All welcome. Yeah, should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few cracking pubs in Lewis, so
yeah, absolutely.
You can't go wrong there. You can't go wrong.
Anyone that's thinking about going but not sure about what it's going to be like on a bank holiday and getting there, I've posted loads of information on the Hastings United fans page for anyone to have a look at in terms of like disability access, travel, ticketing. It's all on there on the Hastings United fans page. So get on there and have a look.
And that's Facebook, yeah?
That's Facebook, yeah.
Facebook, yeah. Okay. All right, then. Okay, well, listen, George, thanks for your time. Enjoy this weekend. I can't be there, but I will be.
You're there Saturday, though. You're there Saturday.
I'm working, but I'm going to come on my break. So I'm hoping.
Amazing.
I'm hoping to stretch my break somewhat.
2 hours.
I'm really hoping, but there's a lot of Nescafe in Hastings. That's all I'm going to say. So who knows? But I'll definitely be there in some form for Saturday. But Monday I can't make it, and I want to cry about that. But listen, see you at that game.
Yes,
and you take care, George. See you at the game, mate. Yeah,
we're going up, Chris. We're going up.
Yeah. We'll put money on that. Let's put money on that. We'll talk on Saturday about that. Right.
See you Saturday.
That's it for another week, Grassroots fans. What a weekend for football. Not only Saturday, but a bank holiday bonanza on a Monday. For those youth fans, what a trip Lewis is going to be. Enjoy. As ever, if you want to get in contact with the show or have any suggestions or want to get in on our weekly roundtables, that email again is hufcpod@gmail.com or on the Twitter, which is @HUFCpodcast. You can get this podcast on all major platforms, be it Google Podcasts, Audible, iTunes, Spotify or Amazon Music. And we have a jam-packed YouTube channel, chock-a-block, full of video interviews and episodes from the podcast. Please, please, please give it a look, a comment or a like, but definitely subscribe. It's all free. All that's left for me to say is, I've been your host, Chris Laverick. Hope you have a good week and see you at the game.